Hey YouTube, alright, this video is on the Milwaukee battery pack that goes onto a drill. This is the 9.6 volt battery pack that's been discontinued. Let me get this up to the camera so you can see what this is. Alright, so this battery pack's been discontinued, as I said, and let me try to zoom in so you can see what it's all about. Now I've got another drill besides this, so the question becomes, is it worth spending money to fix a battery pack like this? I've got a very good drill that's worth a lot of money, and I really don't need two drills, but not everybody has another drill, so you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to fix something like this? And sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It is a fun project, and like most of my videos, I like to show you how to open things up, how to take things apart, and how to fix things. So I don't have to say it later. Make sure you do a thumbs up, watch all my other cool videos if you will, if you have any interest. Subscribe. Go to the main channel and click on support this channel, and go to my main channel page, I should say, and click on that and give what you can if you want to. So what we need to do is we've got to look at this thing and figure out, how do you take this thing apart? Well, right over here is a screw. There's a screw over there. There's a screw hidden down in here. I try to set the lighting so this would be really good, but I don't know how good it is for the video. So there's a screw down in there, a screw over here, a screw over here, and a screw over here. There's nothing on the bottom. There's nothing on the sides. You get the terminals, the power terminals, the plus, minus, and the sense over here. And if you rub your finger on the label, you can see that there is absolutely nothing underneath this thing, under the label. So you don't have to worry about hidden, well, there might be, nah, I don't think there's a hidden screw behind there. So the only thing you have to do to open this up to figure out if you want to fix this, or if you do plan to fix it, then you got to open it up. So it looks like these are Torx head screws, and yeah. Let's see, which one of these is the right screw? So hopefully you have a Torx head set. Yeah, it's a little wobbly. Let me go find the right screwdriver and I'll come back and record. Alright, that was quick. Right after I shut it off, I came up with the right one. Okay, so this looks like it is a T5? A T10. T10 Torx tool. So I am going to open up these four. I'm going to undo these four screws. Make sure, I don't know if they're different lengths. You never know if they're different lengths. So put them in a safe place so that you can put them all back the way they came out. And let's see. If they're all the same, then it really doesn't matter. So far, those two are the same. A Torx tool is a really good tool to buy. A lot of things now are Torx head screws. See, this might be the same length. Find out. Yep, okay, so they're all the same length. Definitely worth spending some money to buy something good. Torx head has a lot of, can handle a lot of torque pressure, and you don't really want to buy some cheap piece of garbage at Walmart. Alright, so how does this thing come about? Oh, okay, so started pulling on this as I'm saying, how does this thing come apart? These things are the little side pieces to release the battery from the drill, and it doesn't look like, there might be a spring in here that might go flying when I open this up, but I'll find out in a minute. So I'm just going to put upward pressure on this thing. I was going to put upward pressure on there, and I don't know why it's not coming out. Maybe these pieces need to... Alright. That is the first problem. So let me figure out why this doesn't want to come out. Maybe these plastic pieces need to be pulled away first. I don't know. Okay, if you look, when you press these release pieces in, it allows the top piece to clear. So you have to apply pressure on both release clips and then press upward. And does that let it out? Yeah, that lets it out. Okay, so that's how you open this thing up. Hold it straight up and get that out of the way. So now what are we left with? Well, when you have NiCads are 1.2 volts, so if it's a 9.6 volt battery pack, chances are you can figure out what's in here. You get, wow, what the heck did they do? You got 1.2, and 1.2 is 2.4. 2.4 twice is 4.8, so that's 4 batteries, and then 4.8 twice is 9.6, so there's 8 batteries in here. So let me see, we have 1 on the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they took 2 batteries over here and taped it up. Now these look like, this is not going to be a cheap repair. So again, you have to decide, do I want to fix this? Do you want to fix it, or do you just want to go out and buy a whole new drill? Since this is discontinued, it came with 2 drill packs, but I definitely wouldn't put in the money to fix up 2 drill packs, because you could go out and buy a decent drill for that price. Now, if you look over here on the NiCads, like all of these things, the clip to attach them is spot welded, and odds are nobody who's watching this has a spot welder to be able to put these back on. You don't need to. You could solder this as long as you've got a good soldering iron. You want to be careful. You don't want to overheat the battery and ruin it or cause it to blow up or explode in your face. But it looks fairly simple. What do we have here? That might be the difficult part, to solder the top piece on there. There's some tape holding this whole thing, and let me pull on this and see if I can get the whole pack to come out as one piece. It doesn't look like it wants to happen. Maybe I need to remove these plastic clips. I don't know. What could be holding that in? Alright, I'm just going to take my chances. I'm going to try to see, I don't think it's going to work, but I'm going to see if I can pull the pack out as one. No, those clips are definitely in the way. I don't really see what's holding them in place. Can't be much. I'm trying to press on the clips and slide the whole pack out at once, but that doesn't want to work either. Alright, so these are sub-C cells. C as in Charles, sub-C. The height on this thing is about 1.65 or 1.6, something like that. The width of the battery is about 0.880. So it's a sub-C. They are easily purchased on the internet. You can buy them on Amazon or a lot of other places. And then they cost about $4, maybe about $4.5, $5. Let's just say $5. So $5 times 8, so that's $40 for a battery pack. If I was going to redo the 2 packs, because it came with 2 packs, and it's always nice to have a backup, but if I was going to do 2 packs, that would be $80 in batteries alone to replace these 2 power packs. You could easily go down to a store and buy a cheapy drill with 2 battery packs for $80. It wouldn't be great. And again, this is Milwaukee, which is a good brand, but the question is, do I want to spend $40? Do you want to spend $40 to go out and buy 8 sub-C batteries, pull this out of here? I still haven't figured out what's holding this in, but pull this thing out of here, and then go through the trouble of soldering everything tacking everything down, which isn't that hard to do. I've done it many times. It's not the end of the world. It can be done. As long as you have some experience or you've got patience and you want to take your time, it is doable. I don't want to spend $40 that I don't need to spend, especially because I have a drill, another drill. If I didn't have another drill, would I spend the $40 to rebuild this thing? Probably not, because it's just not cost effective. It just does not make sense to spend $40 on a battery pack, which is a NiCad pack that is kind of obsolete now, and it's only a 9.6. A lot of the drills now are 12 volt, 18 volt, 24 volt, so they've got more voltage. The motor is stronger because it has more power going to it, and this is a 9.6 volt, so this is old, it's obsolete, and obviously they discontinued the battery because it is an obsolete type of product that doesn't have enough power for today's jobs. And so I'm going to end the video over here. Would I spend the time, would I spend the money if you have one of these Milwaukee 9.6 drills? No, I wouldn't spend the money. I would go out and I would invest that money into something that's a newer item that has more power, more capability, more life in it, and probably many more years of use than you're going to get out of a product that has a 9.6 volt battery. But if you want to do it, you can do it. If you want to spend the time and the money, it is a doable job. It's a foolish thing to do, but it is doable. All right, before I end the video, I want to at least show you how to get this thing out. So I removed one side. It's got a spring clip in it. Spring clip that slides in there, and then it's got two little plastic knobs on there over here that this piece snaps into. So I'm trying to, I guess it goes this way. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do is get this other one out the right way so that you can see how it's done. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but it's got this little plastic. Be careful, you don't want to jab this screwdriver into your hand. Nope, that's not going to work. Alright, so what you need to do is just figure out how to get this thing out. What I did is I pulled outward on this piece of plastic, and I was careful. I didn't really care if I broke it or not, but there it goes. Pulling outward, and you just saw what I did. Let me try to get that in there. It's got the little tangs in there still. It's got those pieces, and this spring is still in there. The spring angles outward like this. And it slides down in there, and then this piece snaps in. Alright, so let me try to pull out the battery pack now, so you can at least see what's in here. The bottom is isolated, insulated, isolated from the bottom. It's got some foam rubber on there, something, little piece of rubber that's glued on there. Insulating material over here to insulate the bottom from the top, the bottom of these batteries from the top. You got the, these are the terminals over here that are going to connect to the battery charger, and that also connect to the drill. And so you got the plus and minus wires, and then everything gets connected underneath this isolation pad, insulating pad over here. So, that's it. That's how you do this whole mess. Again, would I do it? Would I spend the time? Would I spend the money to do this? No. Let me show you this in case you're going to do it so you can see how this goes in. You get this angle piece, and it slides right down into, can you see it that way? I think you can. All right, so it slides right down into there. And then I'm going to shove this thing back in here. So if you do make your battery pack, if you want to spend the $40 and you make the battery pack, good for you. Both the left and right pieces are the same. So you should be able to just slide this thing in here, I would hope, and get a connection onto those two little tabs and get it to snap in. Hold on a second. All right, that seems kind of silly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the clip on the tabs first, and then I'm going to try to slide it in there and see if it locks in place. No, it doesn't want to do that either. Probably because I'm more worried about making sure that you can see what I'm doing on the video and not trying to slide this in. You have to make sure that these little black rails slide behind to hold it in place. And that is what the problem is trying to get it to slide in place and hold the clip onto the tabs at the same time. All right, video's almost done. What you want to do is make sure your thing is angled out, clip it on. The whole thing is you need to be able to hold this down while you're sliding these rails behind the case. And if you have really skinny fingers, good for you. I've got skinny fingers, but not that skinny. So I'm using a screwdriver to try to hold that piece down while I slide both black rails behind the case. And I'm going to push down, and hopefully it stays. And there it is. So, again, if you want to spend the time and the money, go for it. And oh boy, no, it doesn't want to go down. It doesn't want to close. This is not good. This is not how I want to end my video. Oh boy. Okay, there it goes. But I broke it. Okay, so then you take your 4 screws, you pop them back in there. It's a lot harder to take out or to put it back in than it is to take it out. Okay, that's feeding in nicely. That feeds in hopefully just as good. Yeah, it's a good fit. Tightening down the 2 front ones. It's just tight plastic. Okay. All right, so that's what's in the Milwaukee 9.6 volt battery pack. I wouldn't spend the money or the time to swap it out. I would just go out and buy a new drill. But if you decide you want to go out and do it yourself, you can buy the batteries on Amazon or many other sites. And it's going to be a little bit of a hassle soldering and getting those wires to make a very good connection. I would take some sandpaper or a file, metal file, and try to scrape off a little bit of the metal, just a little bit to get it roughed up so it will handle solder. You will definitely need flux if you solder something like that. And you can probably use the same wire pack, the same wiring harness that it came with. And that is the video. Hopefully you benefited from it some way, either in knowing how to do the job or deciding you're not going to spend the time.